Planting season is coming up, and because I really enjoy plants and gardening, I decided to start a new series where I design useful 3D printed tools for the garden. These are practical designs that can actually make gardening easier and more fun, and they also make great gifts for parents, grandparents, or any friends that have a green thumb. In this first video of the series, I'll be designing a seedling starter pot that splits in two halves. The idea is to make replanting much easier later in the season without damaging the roots or stressing the plant. So instead of squeezing the pot or pulling the seedling out, you simply open it and lift the plant out gently. The pot is held together using simple snap fit clips, which keeps the two halves secure during use, but also allows you to open them easily when needed. So let's jump in Fusion 360 and start designing. So here we are in Fusion 360, and I want to start with a new sketch. And I'm gonna do the sketch on my top plane. From here, I'm gonna choose a 2-point rectangle. I'm gonna start in the middle. So I'm gonna start from here and call it 50 by 50 millimeters. Okay, now let's fillet the corners to make it look a bit better. So I want to do maybe 5 mil on each corner. Okay, and now I want to offset this to create an edge. So I want to offset it by 3 or 4 times the size of my line width on my 3D printer. So if my default line width is 0.42, I'm gonna choose 1.68. That's 4 times my line width. So in that case, I will get 4 different clean lines to get a quite solid body. Okay, so I'm gonna say finish sketch, and I want to extrude both of them. So I'm gonna hold shift, select this area of the sketch, and then hold shift and select this other area of the sketch, and I'll firstly extrude by -2 millimeters. That will give me the bottom of the pot. Now if I make that sketch visible again and I choose this area of the sketch, I want to extrude this by 60 millimeters, and that will give me the whole size of the pot. Okay, now this is the full pot at the moment, but is one unit and you can't split it in half. So let's split it in half. So what I want to do is I want to go to this tool called split body, and I want to select the body first. And that's my body to split, and I want to select the splitting tool, one of these planes. So let's choose this plane, and that'll give me a clean cut right in the middle of the pot, and that I should have 2 bodies. There you go. Let's rename them. So I'm gonna rename this left side, and I will rename this right side. Just so I know which one I'm working on. So let's hide the right side for the moment. I only want to work on the left side. So I'll have a look at the front section, and I also want to look at the orthographic view. And let's create the first bit of the snap clip. So on this side, on the left hand side, I'm going to create a new sketch onto this bit of my design. And for the first bit of the snap clip, I'll simply create a rectangle. And I want to do it 10 millimeters by 4 millimeters. There we go. That's as simple as that. That's all I need to do in this sketch. Finish sketch. So let's extrude this rectangle by 3 millimeters. And as an operation, I want to create a new body, because if I intersect this, I won't be able to mirror it on the other side. But if I create a new body, then I can just simply mirror whatever I do this onto the other side, and then it helps me with my workflow. So just say okay to this, and now I have this body, which I'm not going to rename yet because I will connect everything to the left hand side once I finish. There it is. That's my new body. And the first thing I want to do is create a way for it to not be printed in air, because at the moment, if I want to print this whole section will be printed in air. So I want to select this line and create a chamfer. So I'm going to go all the way down and say okay. Now this is my first bit of the clip, and I also want to make this snap on easier. So for this one, I'm going to just create a fillet, and I will go all the way to there. Okay, so now when I 3D print, it won't print in the air, and it will make things snap on easier. Okay, so let's mirror this body onto the other side, so we have on each side the same thing. For that, I'm gonna go to mirror, and I'm gonna select mirror plane, this one, and say okay. And there we go. Now we have those clips on both sides. Okay, so now we can simply select all of them and combine everything into one body and say okay. So now we have the left hand side with both clips, and we have the right hand side with nothing. Quick note, friends, if you're enjoying the video and finding it helpful, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and allows me to make more useful videos for you. Now let's get back to designing. So let's create the other side of the snap clip. So I'm going to hide both sides, and I want to see this sketch and go back to edit it. Now this is going to help me create the rest of the snap clip. So what I want to do is I want to select all of this, and I want to offset everything by 0.15. So that will give me a little bit of a clearance between the clip which is on the left hand side and the clip which is on the right hand side. Because if you make them the exact same size, you won't be able to snap fit them together. Now I also want to make this easy to 3D print with no supports. So I'm gonna create line from here, and I'm gonna go to 135. And let's make another line from here. Let's say go up. I want to make one more line here. Now I need to do one more up to there, and I think that should be everything I need. So now I'm going to simply select these lines and then mirror them according to that line. Okay, that will give me a hole section which I can later on extrude. So let's finish sketch and extrude this. And I want to extrude it by, again, 3 millimeters. Okay. Right, now let's see the parts which will be printed in air. So I want to make sure this bit is not printed in air, so I'm going to select these two and chamfer them so they won't get printed in air. I'm going to chamfer them by 3 mil. Okay. Now this and that, I will chamfer them too as well, because again we don't want to print them in air. I'm going to chamfer them by 3 millimeters, and we're also going to chamfer this section. Okay, let's hide the sketch. And we want to chamfer this section. So the reason I'm chamfering this section is I can easily get my fingernail underneath when I want to remove the clip. Okay, so that's our snap fit clip. Let's have a look at everything, how everything looks. That looks really nice, and I think it will work pretty well. That's it. That's the other bit of the snap fit, and I want to mirror it to have one on the other side as well. So I'm simply gonna create a mirror. I'm gonna select the mirror plane, this one. That will give me another one on this side. Okay, so now we can select all 3 of them and combine them. Okay, so now we have the left hand side with his own clips, these ones, and we have the right hand side with these clips. So everything here should be printing with no support. So we will make the print easier and faster. One more thing I want to do before we finish this design, I want to create some drainage holes so we don't flood our seedlings, even though we have a cut here and probably water won't stay in anyway. I like to create some drainage holes anyway. So I can do that by creating a new sketch on this side. And I want to create 5 mil hole here, and I want to create a few more around it. So I'm gonna simply make another one and create a circular pattern with a center point here, and I want to make 6 of them. And if I finish sketch and make this sketch visible, I can select these and just say extrude down. So that's it for designing. Let's send it to my Bamboo Studio and slice it and see how that's gonna look like 3D printed. So here is my Bamboo Studio, and let's import both sides and see how they look like. I want to put them back to back, so when I print them there's gonna be a minimum distance between them. Okay, and I want to do a layer height of 0.28, which is the kind of the largest layer height for 0.4 nozzle, which gives me, it's called the extra draft, which gives me not such a good quality, but for this type of print quality really doesn't matter that much. So I'm going to use it as a speedy print. I want to do infill density 100%. Okay. And I want to do wall loops 4, because as I said before, I have 4 walls here. I've designed it as 4 walls. And one more thing I need to sort out is I want to change the default wall generator from classic to Arachne. That will produce walls with a variable extrusion width, and you'll have cleaner printed walls. And let's slice and see how it looks like. That's it. That's the only thing I want to do is place both of them in the middle. And this is simply because of the time-lapse video, and it is not very important where you put them. That should be fine. And slice one more time and send it to print. Let's see how it looks like. This is it for this video. This is my reusable seedling pot. Thank you for watching, and if you find this useful, give it a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!